Workflows are one of the most powerful features of Zoho campaigns. You can set up automations to perform different actions based on specific triggers. For example, when you tag a contact with a specific tag, you can send a series of emails, and based on the contact actions, you can create tasks, change scores, and a lot more. Let's create a workflow. There are many templates included that you can use as a base and build on it. I'm going to select this one. And this is the workflow. After a contact submits his information via a form, the workflow sends an email, then waits for 2 hours, and finally pushes the contact information to the CRM. We need to do some setup here. Let's configure the form. I'm going to select that any sign-up form will trigger the workflow. Save. Now we have to configure the message. This is very similar to what we did when we sent out the email campaign. Add a topic. Then add a subject. Now we're going to configure the sender, add a name, and in this case, we're going to turn on reply tracking and click on track replies. This is going to allow us to perform actions if we receive a reply to this email. Let's save it. Now we have to add the content. From our saved templates, I'm going to select this one. We can make changes to the template, but I'm not going to make any changes in this case. Proceed. And the message is ready. Here you can change the name if needed. Also, you should send it for review so Zoho approves the email. All right, let's go back to the canvas. Now we're going to set up actions based on the contact behavior. So let's turn on response. And we're going to select open and replied. There are other options on this list that might be helpful for you, like if the contact clicks on a link. For this example, we're only using these two. Click on done. And now we have a fork on the workflow. But keep in mind that the actions under each pad will be triggered as the contact does them. So if the contact opens the email, a set of actions will be triggered. Then if the contact responds to the email, another set of actions will be triggered. In this case, we're going to connect the wait card with the open action. So if the contact opens the email, the flow will wait 2 hours and then it will add the contact information to the CRM. For the replied action, we're going to use another CRM action from the left panel. We're going to create a CRM task. Let's configure it. Select an account. The module is leads. And here select update existing and push new contacts. Next, add a task name. And the due date is going to be based on active days, 1 day. Now scroll down and we're going to assign this task to the CRM account owner. Next, you can map more fields if needed. Next, and finally save. So that's our workflow. Let's review the left panel. We have a lot more actions that we can use. For example, add a contact to a list, assign a tag, manage the subscription tag, update a contact field, and exit the workflow. Under process, we can find a few ways to manage the workflow. We can merge multiple cards into one or add conditions. On the triggers section, we can find all different ways to trigger a workflow. This workflow is configured to start after a form submission, but you can also add multiple triggers. For example, when a contact enters a list or segment, or even when a tag is assigned. On the workflow settings, we can configure a few extra features, like exit criteria or re-enrollment. Let's go back to the workflow screen. This is where you will find all the workflows and see the statuses. Now, here we have a workflow that has been activated. On the left panel, you can see some basic information, as well as access the detailed report. If there is an issue with the workflow, you can freeze it with this button and the flow will stop instantly. And if you're not going to use the workflow anymore, you can shut it down. Keep in mind that you won't be able to activate it again if you use this setting. All right, we have synced Zoho campaigns with Zoho CRM and books. We went over the basic settings of the app, covering everything you need to know to be able to send a successful email campaign. Next, we're going to go over Zoho Desk. See you there.